What's going on, guys? I'm Justin Patrick. Welcome back to Lines and Yak Fishing. And today I'm going to be giving you guys just a few tips on how to select the right lipless crankbait for the type of retrieve that you're going after. Now, real quick, the two different types of retrieves that come to my mind more oftentimes than not are a jigging style retrieve or yo-yoing, and then you have your just same old straight retrieve. Casting and reeling it back to the boat, or burning it and killing it, which is a very sneaky little killer way of catching some big fish on a lipless crankbait. Put that one in your memory bank. But today we're talking more so about the profile of lipless crankbaits and the relation to those different types of retrieves. Now, I know there's a lot of factors out there, and people are going to say, "Well, Justin, you're wrong," and this and that. That's all well and good. I'm not here to try to tell you that this is the only way that you can do it, because I've caught fish on all these baits, retrieving them different types of ways. But let's first talk about the yo-yo style retrieve. If you think about it, when you cast that bait out there, and whatever depth that you're trying to target, whether it be 6 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 15 feet, for me, that's usually when I'm going to be fishing a more yo-yo style retrieve. I want a lipless crankbait that has more of a thin profile. So if you look at this one, this is the Storm Arashi Vibe here. Really great bait. In fact, a little tip about this bait is this bait stays down in the water column really well. So if you're wanting to fish a bait that is a little bit deeper, this bait, for whatever reason, just stays down in the water column a little bit better than most. But what helps it with a yo-yoing style retrieve is that thin profile like that. And why that's important is because whenever you cast this bait out and it goes down to the bottom, it's going to lay down on its side like that. And whenever you go to lift up on it, you don't want any additional resistance allowing that bait, to return back to that, vertical position, which is going to give it that straight retrieve back to the boat. But if you look at, say, like the Booyah One Knocker, or the Strike King Red Eye Shad, or like this one, the Yozuri rattling by. Let's see if I can get them here together. They have that flat bill, that flat nose to them, which serves a different purpose. And we'll get into that in just a second. But these more flat style of lipless crankbaits, they don't have that flat bill to them, that flat nose. So it allows that bait to return back to a up and down vertical position, which gives it that natural look to it, like a bait fish, instead of trying to catch that water with that flat bill and returning back to that up and down vertical position. So yo-yoing a lipless crankbait, I'm going to be looking for something a little bit more flat. And there's quite a few options out there. And some of these that I'm going to be talking about are kind of, again, this is just my opinion, but they're kind of multi-purpose. You can do a couple of things with them. You can yo-yo them a little bit better than others, and you also can straight retrieve them. Now, of course, the thin profile baits like the Storm Arashi, they're going to have a nice straight retrieve back to the boat as well. But let's talk about these two, the more common, more popular body styles out there. About every company has one, but I don't know who first made it. But that style right there, of course, the Yozuri, I mean, they're almost identical, molds of each other. One can overlap the other, and you can't even tell the other one's there. See that? I mean, it's crazy. So, I mean, it's really popular design. Of course, the Strike King Red Eye Shad is another one. But with that flat nose like that, what that's designed for is catching that water and kiltering that bait in that position, a nose down position, to where the hooks are angled towards the rear. This top hook is up out of the way. This bottom hook is down, and this is going to be a more weedless style of lipless crankbait. So whenever you're fishing grass, if you have both hooks that are sitting like that in the water, you're going to be fighting that. You're going to be fighting that grass a lot more. But because that nose is flat, it kilters that tail up, right here. And now you have one hook that is sitting up higher and is likely or less likely to catch that grass. So this is a bait that I'm going to be using for more of that straight retrieve, killing over grass, ripping out of grass, stuff like that. Not saying that, the flatter ones cannot accomplish that. They can as well. But if I'm not yo-yoing a bait, that often or much at all, and I'm just going for that straight retrieve or burning it and killing it, then this is the style of lipless crankbait that I'm going to reach for with that flat nose. Now, there's a couple that let's look at the Strike King Red Eye Shad in comparison to the Booyah One Knocker and really the Yo-Zuri Rattling Bob, because they both, if you look at the throat right there on those baits, they're very similar too, very thin in profile. But if you look at the Strike King Red Eye Shad, right there on that throat, let's point to it a little bit. Right there on that throat, that's going to have a little bit more resistance, coming through the water than your Booyahs or your Yo-Zuri Rattling Bobs or any other style of bait. It doesn't have that, that round, throat on the belly, on the bottom there. So I find that if I need a lipless crankbait that is going to is pretty good at retrieving, on that straight retrieve, but I can also yo-yo it, or I want to yo-yo it a little bit. You're not going to get that same type of yo-yoing action out of that more flat lipless crankbait with the Storm Marashi. But the Booyah One Knocker, in my opinion, is just, because it has that thinner throat right there, it, beads through the water, it cuts through the water a little bit better and allows that bait to return back to that vertical position. So just a couple of tips there, guys, some things to consider. Again, get out there and try these out for yourself and figure out what works best for you. Real quick, my setup for lipless crankbaits. This is a 7'3" medium heavy action rod here. It is made by Little Miami Outfitters. It's their Proteus line of rods. Really nice rod. Great action for throwing a lipless crankbait because it has a little bit more of a parabolic tip to it. So it has a little bit more give, for those fish to get that bait really good. In fact, my PB came off of a lipless crankbait on that exact rod setup, and that's a Lew's Tournament Pro 7-to-1 gear ratio reel, so a little bit higher speed gear ratio to pick up that slack when I'm ripping it out of grass, and then 14-pound Sunline FC Sniper is usually my go-to for throwing lipless crankbaits. That little smaller diameter than 16-pound line can get that bait down there or keep that bait in a little bit deeper water when I need to. But it also still has really good strength, really good power to be able to get those fish back to the boat. And then when I'm wanting to fish more of like quarter ounce, or if I really need to keep that bait down in a little bit deeper water, maybe I'm not burning it and killing it or straight retrieving it, but just doing more of a yo-yo or jigging style, then I'm going to use a 7'3". This is a medium heavy crankbait rod made by Hammer Rods. And I've got it paired up with a Lew's BB1 Pro speed spool with 12-pound Sunline FC crank. Now this is kind of my crankbait rod application for 4 to 6 to 8, 10-foot depth ranges. So I pretty much keep it rigged up with 12-pound fluorocarbon line. But it acts as a really great rod, serves a really great rod for throwing those lighter lipless crankbaits or keeping that bait out there in a little bit deeper water. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching today's video. If you want to support this channel, give me a like if you like this content. Leave me a comment, guys. I'd love to hear from you all. And then definitely subscribe, which is one of the best ways that you can support this channel. And I appreciate you guys. Good luck out there this year, man. I'm looking forward to getting out here on the water and starting to competing in the Hobie Bass Open Series again here soon. And yeah, so y'all take care, man. Happy fishing, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.